Hi, everyone. I'm still a little bit confused about the fact that I'm up here talking to you about physical exercise because I was never a particularly sporty or fit kid. And so this is kind of quite new and unusual for me. And if I look back at all of the physical exercise that I've tried, I'm not against physical exercise, but I'll try things and lose interest in them for one reason or another. And, for example, fencing, I stopped because two of my buddies moved away, one to Spain and one to Denmark. I'm not sure if I should feel offended. But one of the good things about running is you can do it whenever you want. And I find doing it in the morning is quite handy. And you start to get very obsessed about things like when is sunrise. So you look at kind of sunrise calendars for the year and so on. But you can pretty much run whatever the weather. And that's not to be macho. It's that if you run and it's raining, it might stop in a bit anyway. So it's actually quite handy. And you pretty much, English weather isn't as bad as people give it credit for. Don't run when there's ice because you'll fall over and hurt yourself. But there's lots of nice places to run. And much more than going to a gym and having to, mess about with whatever they're called, those horrible machines that you run on. There's all kinds of mad things you see in the park. Ducks, herons, lots of different birds, crazy people shouting at each other. There's always something to see. And every time you go for a run, it's different, even if you go into the same place. But you can go to different places. I like running along the Mersey. When I'm in Edinburgh, I go running along the canal near my parents, and along the beach. And in town is also nice too. So even if you're away somewhere, you can pretty much run. It's also not very expensive to get started with. So you can buy a pair of trainers. This is worth spending a bit of money on, but you could spend £20, £50, whatever. And, an old tracksuit, a T-shirt is fine. You can spend as much money as you want. And to start off with, there's a really nice program called Couch to 5K, or C25K. And it really does start with you can't run a mile, and you end up after 6 weeks of being able to run 5 kilometres if you take it seriously enough. And one of the main rules is don't huff, don't puff, don't get out of breath, and don't hurt yourself. So it's very much not macho. You run for a minute. If you got out of breath, then run slower. If you were falling over, then stop maybe, because you've got to be aware of these limiting factors. And it's interesting, you find different parts of your body hurt for different reasons. For example, I was getting shin splints, and it was because I was tying my shoes too tightly. Then I got muscle ache, and that was because I wasn't tying them tightly enough. So there's all kinds of fun things that you learn about your body. You also get interested in geography and planning maps. There are lots of applications on the web that allow you to choose routes of different lengths. And you've also got things like Google Street View, so you can check where things are like. And one nice thing is on your phone, you can download various applications to track how far you've gone, and you can see a nice little calendar of where you've gone. It's quite motivating because you can look back at the history of all of your training. So I recommend that. Now, a lot of people like to run with music because they say that it keeps them going. I actually like the sounds of birds and weather and being able to hear cars and not get run over. Those things are kind of quite nice for me. I also don't get bored, oddly enough. Some people like running groups, and that's great. I haven't been bored enough to feel the need for it, but I think they can be very motivating. We did do last year a Twitter-based running group called Tweet Run, and lots of people ran 10 kilometres in Liverpool and all over the place. Then a very bad man called Francis over there persuaded me to do the Liverpool Half Marathon. And I'm not quite sure why I did, because I wasn't really up to the training, but I did manage it. And my main goals were not injure myself, get around the course, and then maybe do it in some kind of reasonable time. And I did actually complete it, so that was very exciting. Thank you. And having done that, there are loads of races, and one of the most famous ones is the Great North Run, which is between Newcastle and South Shields. It's also quite difficult to get into because there's so many people who want to do it. And one of the ways you can do it is by raising money for charity. So I had this great idea, I'll do that. My mum last year had treatment for bowel cancer and has recovered. It's been quite unpleasant for the family, especially for her, obviously. But she's had very good treatment, and hopefully, other people can do the same as well. So I'm trying to raise some money. There's a website on Just Giving, or if anyone does want to give me any money or encouragement, then come and grab me afterwards. It'd be really appreciated. So Thank you.